everyone. Welcome back to Gooner Gathering. We're here for speaking a load of nonsense, going through on tangents, and going through a whole heap of stuff that's happened in the last week or so. I am Gooner Lee Meadows, joined by the poshest man in all of sports entertainment, Posh Bertie. How are you, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing absolutely great. I'm trying to make the most of my last week of freedom, if you will,
Oh, how-
until my mental state and well-being depends on 11 men kicking a ball around for the next few months. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm
it's
doing
gonna.
good. How are you?
Uh, I'm gonna say yes. I'm doing fine for the easiness of the channel. But it's been a couple of days, I can tell you that much. And I will say, my best wishes to my mother-in-law who lost her mum. So that's my wife's grandmother who passed away over the last couple of days. A really good age as well, but it's been a little bit difficult in our household this last couple of
Yeah.
days. But we are here to talk nonsense, football, cricket, and a load of other stuff. I think so. So
As per usual. Don't forget
absolutely.
wrestling.
Oh, well, we'll probably find a way of getting it in there somewhere. We always do. Do you know? Just when we come on this channel, it is broadly speaking, it is an Arsenal channel. It is a football channel, but living up to your gimmick, you rather like the cricket as well. Do you see what I did there? Um,
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And breaking news within the last few minutes is the announcement of Stuart Broad. There he is
Mm.
at the end of this Ashes series coming up. He's retiring for the game, mate. I think that's a bit of a shocker for me. What are your thoughts and how good is Stuart Broad as a cricketer?
Oh, he's very good, very good.
Mm,
I've always rated the guy. Yeah, it's come as a surprise. Certainly came out of the blue. He's 37, so he
right.
is a ripe age, especially if he was a footballer. For a cricketer as
True.
well. Well, you got players like Jimmy Anderson, he's like 40 now, and he's still kicking. So yeah,
Or throwing
or
more
should
than
I say
kicking.
fielding? There you go.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, no, it's surprising. I mean,
Yeah.
Stuart Broad, fantastic cricketer. He's going to be a miss for the England team. And it's a shame that his career isn't ending in an
Mm,
out and out proper England win in the Ashes because the best we can get now is a draw to draw the series. But
yeah.
either that or Australia win. And at the moment, I checked the score and it was looking all right. England lead by 377 runs, currently 389 for 9,
Mm,
Australia 295 all out. So,
okay.
oh, all out, is that a wrestling reference?
Well, maybe accidentally it might have been.
But and hopefully they're all out. Hopefully we can go all in the next where in what's to come in the Ashes.
Yeah, well, they are all
Ashes.
elite. That's what I thought. So, but just to quickly close on Stuart Broad, um, because everyone's going to say, what are they talking about? But great all rounder as well. Scored a heap of runs. I haven't got all the stats up with me like I normally would have done because I've been busy
Right.
writing a show. But
The
yeah,
actual script. So yeah,
well, yeah, exactly. I mean, they've come from left field, brother, and read like Vince McMahon has just torn up my script and
yeah,
ripped it to
tearing it
pieces.
up.
I mean, how traditional is that on our channel, mate? But it's going to be big boots to fill. And is there anybody in the game that can live up to that Philip Billing?
We'll have to wait and see. England have got lots of great players. You
Mm,
know, Ben Stokes, Johnny Bairstow, even Jack Leach. You know that historic one not out in 2019.
it's
We'll
good
be
times.
fine. Ford will be a big miss.
Hmm.
But I hope we can fill those shoes in no time at all.
Okay, thank you very much for all of that. Now, we are a football channel mainly, so I think from this point on, we'll try and talk a bit of football. And we've got second game in the World Cup for the English side to talk about. Normally, maybe this isn't the lineup you normally expect for the women's game, but I did want to get a video out, and I did want to have a proper day off tomorrow if I can. So we'll try and muddle our way through this as best we can, my friend, and I'll hold your hand along the way, mate. You'll be absolutely fine. But
I know the score. I've seen the highlights. I think I know what I need to know.
Excellent. Okay, well, let's see. So, Serena decides to go a little bit against her script and her normal way of playing it. Remember, in the Euros, she literally went the whole tournament without making changes to the starting lineup. But after the 1-0 win against Haiti, which, as I was saying to Matt the other day, was a bit of hard work, I will say that. And if it wasn't for Mary Earps in goal, it might have been a bit worse, actually.
Yeah,
she's made two changes to the lineup. One was at the back. Now, Rachel Daly is a bit of an oddity in football terms, if you like. Top scorer in the league, but she also plays left back. She plays centre forward. She can play number 9. She might have been a little bit disappointed not to be playing in a number 9 position.
You know, if Arteta watches this, he's going to get ideas.
We'll have the inverted forward position to go into
inverted
the left
forward. There we go.
Exactly. But I mean, she's absolutely outstanding at doing it. Don't get me wrong, and she knows both roles absolutely perfectly. Had plenty of time in the MLS playing as left back as well. So yeah, she came in, which meant that Alex Greenwood came in, played at centre half. The other change was, if I'm right in saying, was it Jess Carter was dropped and Lauren James? That's Reece James's sister. We'll come on to her in just a bit. Was making the start. On the other side, a little bit interesting. There was a name that stood out for me on the Danish lineup, and it was let me just get her up. Pernille Harder used to play for Chelsea. Plays at Bayern Munich now. She was the most expensive ladies footballer until that record was broken in September of last year by a certain Kira Walsh who moved from Manchester City to Barcelona. We'll get on to the news about Kira Walsh in a minute. But I don't know how much you would have seen of the first game, Posh, but I really felt that it was kind of, I don't know if you want to say they were sort of easing themselves into the tournament, much like I've seen a lot in England tournaments before in both sides of the game. But it was a very laboured kind of performance, and England really needed to start quickly. And literally from the get-go, really bright start from England. It was a nice move. Millie Bright, the captain, plays the ball to Lucy Bronze. Move carried on. Russo was involved. Stanway was involved. Kira Walsh eventually got the assist with Lauren James hitting a wonderful right-footed shot into the far corner. It's a great goal. Hello, mate. Good to see you here. Yeah, Lauren James is going to be phenomenal. She's got a heck of a lot of talent, and she will go far. And thank you very much for the congratulations. That's very good. Thank you very much. Posh on the admin this evening, boys and girls, is the phenomenal Posh Bertie. Laura or Lawrence? Lauren James. I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, chap. Hey.
I'm going to have to research this.
Because I know we have a Lauren.
Pretty sure it's Lauren.
I know we have a Lauren Hemp, Manchester City as well. But yeah.
Yeah, it is Lauren. Lauren James.
Thank
you
very
right
much. Thank you for throwing me off script now, okay?
Usually it's me that does that.
I know. Unbelievable. Right now, where was I before?
You were
Let's see.
talking about how England weren't as free flowing as you're used to seeing.
Yeah, perhaps so. But the move for the opening goal was really good. You have a view on the goal? Do you want to talk about that?
Brilliant, lovely goal.
Thank you, boss.
By Lauren James. No, it was very good outside the box.
Mm.
It's absolute screamer. And you mentioned how it's odd seeing England play a bit more pragmatic than they would have done. I'm pretty sure that's how George Graham managed Arsenal.
Do you know what?
And it
we
worked.
haven't talked about this because I was going to talk about George Graham in a bit anyway. Amazing. You know what? Yeah, but there's a couple of issues there. I mean, we're very much dealing with a change in the England setup here. There's a lot of players unavailable. Well, our very own Beth Mead is one of them. Jill Scott obviously retired. Ellen White retired. So it's very much a put together side. Perhaps it wasn't a surprise to make a few changes in that starting 11 because perhaps Serena is just trying to figure out who that best 11 is anyway. I think the important thing to talk about is managed to get a result, and the George Graham reference is spot on, by the way, because in the good old days when I was a wee youngster and we come away with a 1-0 win to the Arsenal, that was what it was all about. And even if we might have been as free flowing as we normally would have been, the results are there. The two wins out of 2. Spoiler alert if you haven't already seen it. But we'll sort of carry on just a little bit. I don't need to talk about that. We can move along from that. I suppose the other real big headline is a player that I just spoke about just a little bit ago, and I think there was a lot of fears amongst the game. Certain players that are just recovering from bad injuries as well. Beth Mead in particular put a tweet out, and it's to do with Kira Walsh. Now, there she is. Basically, what happened in the play that led to the injury, Lauren James, she played a crossfield pass, it got intercepted, and Denmark caught us on the break. And in tracking back to try and win the ball, Walsh managed to sort of fall very awkwardly, and you could tell instantly. She's telling her teammates, "Get off me! I've done my knee. I've done my knee," and she knew full well that she was in a lot of trouble. There is a bit of positive news on this one, because sort of within the last hour and a half, I think it was, I did see that
the statement came out.
The statement had come out saying that it's not an ACL injury. She is staying in Australia, which is great news. She's going to miss the Tuesday game against China. But if she's staying amongst the squad, the hope is that there's a bit of rest and ice on the knee and all that sort of stuff. There is perhaps a bit of hope. Perhaps it's more positive than we might have feared it would have been during the match. But certainly when I saw it live, I thought, oh no, here's another one. And it's rife in the game as well, by the way, these bad injuries that come down. But yeah, it seems quite positive. The most experienced player in the squad came on to replace her in the second half. That's Coombs. There were a few other chances, particularly corners, set plays. We looked pretty dangerous in the second half. Greenwood obviously was taking them as she normally does. Quite rare to see a centre half playing a corner in, but that she does all the set plays as well. One header from Russo went just missed, and Ella Toon got from a corner kick, managed to fall to her, and managed to tip the ball over. Ella Toon hit the ball over. So my head's going at 100 miles an hour because I'm trying to think of what I'm going to say next. Now let's just sort of wheel back just a tiny bit from, we spoke briefly, I know you would have seen this, about Arsenal's McCabe scoring from the corner kick against Canada.
Yeah.
Now, we had a very sort of similar incident that happened during the England game yesterday.
Yeah.
And a cross came in. Is it Aya? I think it is. The cross came in from the left-hand side of the field, and it was one of them that it was a really odd sort of swerve on the ball. I don't know what the weather conditions were like. It certainly made the ball do all sorts of strange things. But like she did in the first game, Mary Epps, the goalkeeper, got a sort of top hand to it. It was definitely going to fly in. It would have hit the corner of the other side. And yeah, again, keeping us in the game, we couldn't manage to find the second goal. We nearly paid for it as well, right at the end, with Wainsgard hit a post from a header. But the important thing to take away from that, as I put these notes away, because I think I've done all that, we managed to get another win. And hopefully, it seems as though the injury for Kira Walsh isn't too bad. And we can move on. I haven't seen the league table, so I haven't seen the other result in the group yet. But
England are through to the last 16, and which is good. 2 wins from 2. Yes, they weren't exciting games. I mean, it was only 2-1-0s. You know what I mean? But it wasn't a goal fest like some people would like. But the reality is we are through to the round of 16, which is a very good thing.
Absolutely, mate. Just bear with me a minute, because I have
no worries.
Technically got it's sort of Arsenal-based news. Yeah, it is, because I know this name from Fabrizio Romero saying he understands that Steffi Mavidi has signed a contract as new Leicester player a few minutes ago. Now, that might not be an instantly recognisable name to you, but he is a former Arsenal academy player. So he links up there at Leicester for the rebuild from their relegation. They've already picked up a couple of Premier League players, haven't they?
Yeah.
He goes, I'm desperately trying to. Yeah, I'm desperately trying to think of it. There's one that picked up from Spurs, isn't there? But
Spurs picked Maddison up. Not sure about going the other way around. I don't know. I don't really follow Leicester City.
Okay, no worries.
They're another league now.
Yeah, absolutely. But that was breaking news. We're going to be the first YouTube channel to say that. So there, breaking news on Gooner Gathering. It's where you all need to be. So like, share, and subscribe. Right. So we've sort of covered the World Cup aspect of it. What I do want to do, Posh, is have a quick look back at the Barcelona friendly from the other night, which of course we were all up at about 3 o'clock in the morning for.
Well, I wasn't, but some people did. No,
some of us needed to try and sleep.
I was in Taunton at that time. I was in my hotel bed, fast asleep.
I'm glad you added fast asleep with that. Thank you very much. Too much information. Let's talk about the players that were missing first of all, shall we? Dick Rice, the Arsenal injury curse has hit us again, everyone. I don't think it's anything to worry about. But
he was never injured before in his entire career.
Are you sure about that? He's never broken a toenail.
When he's played professionally for West Ham, he has never been injured. He missed one game against Man City, but that was just a precaution. I don't think that wasn't it to do with any injuries. I don't know what happened there, but he has never been properly injured when playing for West Ham. Signs for Arsenal, within 2 weeks picks up an injury. Of course he does.
You used the word. You used the key word, precautionary. This was a friendly. I understand.
Yeah.
He picked up a kick in training, and they didn't want to risk it. So hopefully Deck will be ready to play.
But from what I'm hearing, he's going to be out for the Community Shield.
Okay, I hadn't heard that. And
Yeah,
and to
I
be
heard it.
honest, that's
Him
that's
and
a,
Zinchenko. We'll get to Zinchenko in a minute, but
yeah.
they could potentially be out for the Community Shield.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about the midfield that actually did start and beat Barcelona in a minute.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I think we'll be all right. But the other one, we'll talk about him now. Alex Zinchenko. Now this one is slightly worrying. Now, listen, I might not be his biggest advocate in terms of as playing as centre half. I've just got to keep an eye on my little girl who's watching a film in the other room. So excuse me if I go off camera. But he is a major player under Arteta. Of course he is. Now he missed the last little bit of the season through picking up a muscle injury. Seems as though that's happened again. Again, you just said he's out of the Community Shield. That would be a little bit worrying, I guess. I would suggest if that is the case, then any talk of Kieran Tierney leaving for a start can stop because
We'll see.
we cannot afford to lose him. Absolutely not.
No,
That's my
exactly.
opinion.
But the thing is, Arteta's going to play him in that inverted role, which he's not used to.
Yeah. To be fair, it's the one word that I keep on hearing, and it does my brain in. It's probably because I'm too old or something. I don't know. But the comments are telling me how stupid I am not understanding the inverted systems. But it's fine. I can take it. I can take it. This was interesting. So we're sort of going into the starting 11s. We tried Timber at left back during the Barcelona game.
Yeah.
Now, again, is it a case of sort of balancing up a bit of game time here, as well as having a little bit of a practice and trying something a bit different?
It was probably the Zinchenko being again, that is another precaution that they used because they thought Zinchenko picked up I'm noticing in pre-season you got the likes of Odegaard, Rice, Zinchenko all being injured, almost as if we probably shouldn't have got rid of our main club doctor or something. You know, I know
he
that
hasn't gone yet.
He
hasn't gone yet. Just to play devil's advocate with you, he goes in the end of.
He's not.
He goes at the end of the September, I believe, because we're saying about this period in terms of going through.
Like, notice period.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Until it'd be a fairer transition kind of thing is what the talk was. But I get your point.
Completely invalid now. But yeah,
no, not at all. It was a good point because sometimes you have these shake-ups behind the scenes and stuff like that, and who knows? Who knows? We'll see how it all plays out. I get what you were trying to say, though. We did have a couple of injuries on the way through, but sometimes that happens as you're sort of getting back to playing games and doing a bit of running again. I mean, you mentioned Odegaard. Yeah, I think he might have had a slight knock in one of them, and so or a little slight twinge in the start of the first one on the tour in Germany. He seems to be playing okay now. But yeah, you have a good point. You have a good point. Let's just sort of carry on because with the apart from talking about playing about Timber at left back, the other like the goalkeeper and the other three. So Ramsdale, White, Saliba, Gabriel continued. I think that's pretty much nailed in as your starting lineups. I would have thought. I suppose the positions in front are the ones to be up for debate. I think. So this time we lined up with Odegaard, Thomas Partey getting the start in the defensive role, which Declan Rice would have played, and your friend Havertz,
of course.
Congratulations on your short getting 1.2k views, by the way, sir.
Oh, the me saying we've wasted 65 million order. Oh, that one. Oh, there you
awesome.
go. Arsenal slander equals views.
Well, what can one say, eh, mate? What can one say? I did like the fact it was completely unscripted, and it was
Oh, I had that. I had
us-
that planned the moment we were doing that video. But,
I love the fact you never told me. It was great.
exactly. Yeah.
So to complete the lineups, Saka, Jesus, and Trossard gets the start this time. Do you know he very much feels like somewhat for me as a bit of a forgotten man? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Probably shouldn't say this reference with everything that we know, but he's
What?
forgotten no more. Is Leandro Trossard 2 goals in that game? And you know what? I would argue he should probably get a start in the Community Shield next week.
So if he gets that start, then
Mm-hmm.
if you want to go there,
Yeah,
who does he replace?
Martinelli.
Martinelli. Interesting.
Just it's gonna be someone, and it's gonna probably be Martinelli. No disrespect to him, but it's just one of those things.
I mean, in that forward area, and certainly that we've got a lot of players that can be, spread the load in terms of goals. But I think the argument would be that we don't have that out and out Haaland like striker, do we? Or certainly from the outside, that's how it seems. And I mean, I can hear. I've seen certain other people saying, "Oh, it's this slanderous news about Arsenal need another striker and stuff like that." I suppose like the bigger picture for me is we're going to have a lot of games, and we've got a lot of competitions, including the elite one. And
if we end up playing Nketiah in the Champions League, then the meltdowns that will happen online is going to be biblical.
So stay tuned for that one coming up next season. It's going to be good on Gooner Gathering. I'm going to be blamed for it.
Yes, I don't know how, but you'll be blamed for that if it happens.
Okay, wrestling reference. It wasn't my fault. But so as we're getting into the game, we'll sort of run through it as quick as we possibly can, because again, I don't know how long I can hang on here for, but and then we'll go on to something which I think is going to really make your day, and then it's really going to make your break. So I'll look forward to doing that in a minute. Let's talk about how quickly Arsenal started, and in true style, in a big game against Barcelona, we went 1-0 down.
Absolutely, Lewandowski, striker that can score 20 plus goals a season.
Yeah, it'd be one you want to bring in, would it?
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that he's a striker that can score 20 plus goals a season, which some argue is what Arsenal need to go that extra level.
Mm-hmm.
Even though a lot of players in a lot of different positions have scored for us. I get that, but I don't know. Maybe we need someone clinical in the air to make us get that extra level. Someone who likes to win headers from crosses. Somebody like Kai Havertz, who scored the second goal.
Whoa! Stop! So let's talk about how the goal happened and your thoughts on it. So obviously there was a cross came in on the right hand side. I think it was that Abday had the cross come in. It was a shot sort of parried kind of by Ramsdale. We'll talk about Ramsdale a little bit in a minute, because there's a bit of in debate on that one, because Arsenal fans are very very much want to critique, shall we say? That's probably the best word I could use today. So it sort of parried away. Lewandowski does what he's made a career out of. In all fairness, he's a penalty box forward player. He's wonderful at what he does, and scores the tap in. But then Arsenal do respond from it. It came from a mistake. If you're from the Barcelona defence, Ben White kind of played it didn't look the most trickiest ball to play. It was a forward pass, but it wasn't the quickest. But they made a bit of a mess of it, and Saka.
But it worked.
Saka put it away. Just realised there's a crucial bit in my notes that are missing, and I'm not quite sure where this ended up, but I'll mention it now
Yeah, go on.
because there was a penalty miss as well.
Yes.
Now, where was that in the game? Because I'm on the YouTube highlights that I've just rewatched. That was not shown. Nah.
Oh, I don't know when that was. It was
Mm.
in the first half. It was in
Yeah,
the
it was.
first half. I know that. But Saka missed another penalty.
Oh, that sounded a bit harsh. Yeah, I get what you. I know what you're
Well,
saying.
he missed a penalty. I mean, I know it didn't mean the game didn't mean anything. It's a friendly and
Yeah.
that. But you know, I hope that if he's still taking penalties for us, Saka, he can hopefully get out of that bad form when it comes to penalties.
Yeah, I mean, the best of them have missed them. And the thing is, you keep stepping up and wanting to take them, and that's what I think he's going to do. Don't think you'll take him off him, to be fair. I just realised I'm going to run into trouble in a minute because my daughter's film's just about to run out. So this will be interesting how we cope with this. Right, let's bring it forward. Rafinha, the free kick. So I won't talk about too much of this, but the free kick came in from quite a distance. On first viewing, it looked like a terrible mistake from the goalkeeper, but then looking at it again, did it come off Odegaard, who sort of turned his back onto the ball a little bit and took a bit of a weird old deflection on it?
I am not really sure. But either way, it was a bit of an odd goal to concede.
It was a bit of a weird one, I must say. But you know, keeps it entertaining, and we did manage to recover from that. You know, and it was great to see that your favourite player, that I'm sure you're going to get an Arsenal shirt with soon, Havertz scored his second goal in pre-season for Arsenal.
It wasn't just Havertz who scored in that game, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
My two favourite players.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll talk about the other one in a minute, mate. But Saka's cross, Erdegaard had a bit of a, was it a header? And then it sort of came to Havertz, who sort of spun, hit it, and it went in the other side. It was a nice finish, to be fair. One would say it was a poacher's finish.
Yeah, and absolutely, and it was a nice. I thought it was at first. I thought it was that header originally that scored. It was Havertz with the header, but no, it was a tap in, and it's good to see Havertz score 2 goals in 4 games for Arsenal, which is decent. I hope that I'm proven wrong, and he does end up being a decent player for us. But against teams like Man United, where he didn't turn up, if that happens in the Premier League, that won't be good. But if again he proves me wrong and he does well for us and scores goals like he did against Barcelona, like he did against the MLS All Stars, then I'm gonna be satisfied with Havertz. We'll have to just wait and see what happens when the season comes.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, this is where the tricky part of the broadcast is going to happen, because Amy needs my assistance right now, and I can't.
Okay, do you want me to talk about the Trossard goals and Vieira?
Yeah, you carry on, but let me come back before you start talking about Vieira. All right.
Okay,
I'll
talk about Trossard.
I'll remove myself from the stream just for a minute.
All right. So, the other 2 goals that happened came from Leandro Trossard. I want to see what minutes there were. So, come on, load. Trossard, 55th and 78th minute. And they were both very good goals as well. Trossard, people think he's the forgotten man. He is brilliant, and he has been a fantastic addition in our attack. And like I said early on, I would actually like to see him start for us in the Community Shield. Got nothing against Gabriel Martinelli, of course, but someone's going to have to be dropped. It's going to probably be Martinelli. And Trossard to start in the Community Shield. That's what I think should happen. Every time he's on the ball, he offers this great creativity, offers this amazing pace and cross, everything. Like, he is a very good player, and he's a huge asset to our team. Barcelona. Barcelona made it 4-3. Ferran Torres, who you may know from his days at Man City, scored the fourth goal. It's the third goal for Barcelona, making it 4-3. So once again, nerve-wracking times for the blood pressure of Arsenal fans and for Arsenal in the very, very latter stages of the game. But I'm going to wait for Mr. Meadows to come back to talk about the certain player that scored the Arsenal's fifth goal, because that's going to be fun and entertaining to do. But I want to talk about Aaron Ramsdale briefly, because he has been getting a lot of criticism. Now, Ramsdale has been a brilliant goalkeeper for us the 2 seasons he's been with us. The game that instantly comes to mind is the Liverpool game. If it wasn't for him, we would have lost by a huge margin. But recently, here he is. Gooner Meads is back. Everything okay?
All good, mate. All good. Carry on. I was here. I hear what you said.
Okay. But we've recently, in pre-season, he's conceded some very dodgy goals. And in penalty shootouts against Sporting and against Man United, he keeps diving the wrong way and going nowhere near close to saving the penalties. And if the Community Shield goes to penalties next week, you might remember a game in the 2014 World Cup between the Netherlands and Costa Rica. Louis van Gaal's army did a tactical masterclass, took off their goalkeeper in the penalty before the penalty shootout, replaced him with Tim Krul, and he saved 3 penalties? And
what a cruel way to win!
Oh my word!
I remember.
The Community Shield goes to penalties, I am so tempted to substitute Ramsdale with Matt Turner just to see what happens.
Okay, so Matt Turner.
I am tempted.
Matt Turner hasn't even been in our squad. I can't believe he didn't throw it to Hine, who saved penalties.
There's a reason for that, because he's even worse.
But Hine was a penalty shootout specialist. Just before we came back from the World Cup, he was a penalty specialist.
How do you know that? What happened then?
Because we went out for pre-season, like mid-season tour kind of thing to play.
Yeah.
He saved penalties galore.
Did he?
Yeah, he blooming did. Check the footage. Check the footage.
See, I didn't notice. I was too busy focusing on the World Cup. But maybe there's more to Hine than being named after a tomato sauce bottle. Maybe you're onto something here.
Well, there you go, boys and girls.
Maybe it has to be Hines.
There you go. The only YouTube channel to call for Hine to be in goal.
I'm not saying that.
Share, and subscribe.
Do not put words in my mouth, Mr. Meadows.
But interesting point. With penalties, look, it is the lottery, isn't it? It's like you can do as much preparation as you like, but then even I could go and look like I'm about to take a penalty right-footed, then switch it and put it on my left.
You can't really technically you can't practice penalty. I mean, you can.
Hold on. You can't teach that.
Thank you. You can't practice penalties.
You can't even look at me.
You can practice penalties, but it's nothing compared to the real thing, if you know what I mean.
No, stop it. No, don't even go there. Not this week. I nearly broke into song. I couldn't do that. I shouldn't do that.
Okay, but it's nothing. It's a big difference compared to when you're in front of the crowd and it's an all-important penalty shootout or one of those last-minute penalties to win the game. Practicing penalties is one thing. Actually doing it when it matters is another thing. And you're right there.
And one thing I did like about the game against United after we did lose, ultimately getting that bit of simulating as best as you could in this sort of training environment, because basically that's all this is at the moment, to simulate that sort of in a big, a goldfish environment where everyone's looking at you. It was.
Yeah.
I thought that was quite cool to see. I did feel for one Fabio Vieira, I must say, because he did rather fluff his lines a little bit on that occasion. However,
Yeah.
maybe penalty kicks might not be his forte.
I saved this fifth goal when you got back.
I'm glad you did, mate. I'm glad you did because do you know what? One of our wait, was that? It was our club. One of our. I think it was the last goal we ever did for one Cameron Chatter,
Yeah.
and it was Fabio's stunner against
Yeah.
Brentford. And I don't know how he does it because sometimes he looks way out of sorts. And let's be fair. Let's real. We've said that on the channel, even as a couple of days ago when we said, in the guy needs a loan, and yeah, he probably still does.
Mm.
But when he hits them, they stay true, don't they? What a hit that was from Fabio Vieira. Does he play better as a wing player? Maybe that's how we should be used because maybe he might not be the biggest guy in the but if you play him kind of wide, does that mean he's got the speed? Has he got the skill to?
I argued about this when it came to wanting Bukayo Saka to be a potential striker.
Yeah.
Back many months ago. I am not sure, but he's not going to get ahead of any of the players we have on the wing. It's Fabio Vieira, even if you train him to be a winger. Yes, it was a great goal, but a broken clock is right twice a day. It was a good goal
praise.
for
I've
him.
not heard that one before. I like that.
It was a good goal from him, but I'm just going to come back to it. At the end of the day, the game is a friendly. It will be nice to see him do it in a game that matters, like he did against Brentford. If he gets a lot of minutes, that is.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and see. I think there are many midfielders that are going to start ahead of him anyway. So, but look, I'm pleased he managed to get that goal in the very almost last kick of the game.
Good nice little moment for him. And, let's just see where. I mean, I've got a feeling his career probably will take another path. That's what I do. But who knows? We are what 2 weeks away from the Premier League season kicking off. I think.
Yeah. Well, our season starts in a week.
Oh well, if you want to talk about the glorified friendly, which is at Wembley Stadium, we can do. Absolutely.
Well, it's not a pre-season friendly, but like it is. It's not the most meaningful trophy, but it's. And the manager of our opponents said it best when it came to if you win trophies like the Carabao Cup, it boosts mentality in the squad and it drives them to want to do more. And I think that I know the Community Shield is a bit less prestigious, but I think it can give the players a bit of a confidence boost if we beat a team like Man City. It's the Community Shield, but I think it can give the players a bit of a boost, if you know what I mean.
Oh no, I do agree with you. It'll be very interesting to see how
it won't be the end of the world if we lose, but I think a lot of people are going to be angry because it's Arsenal, and when Arsenal lose, everyone gets angry.
You wait till I bring him the latest score from earlier, or the full-time score from earlier on today. I'll cause a Twitter meltdown myself, I think, but we'll get to it in a minute. But don't get too excited, everyone. Don't get too excited. It'll be very interesting to see how we go against another Premier League side. Yes, you're absolutely right, especially after what happened against Man United. And we covered it last week. We did look a little bit out of sorts for about 70 or 60 odd % of the game. We looked a little bit flat, but then that's part of what the pre-season's about, isn't it? It's about getting miles in your legs and stuff like that. The other thing about I think it's Sunday, isn't it? The Charity Shield, Community Shield, right? Yeah, good, because that means I can pencil that in and say we will be here doing the chat along. We're bringing them back. Come on, looking forward to doing it. It'd be our first kind of final, wouldn't it? It'd be our first Wembley chat along.
I will be, and it is going to be.
I'm hyping
Sadly,
it.
we don't get hyped; we stay hyped. Sadly, it will be our only Wembley chat along for August. Not for the season,
August.
hopefully, but August, because I am not going to All In, sadly.
That's the wrestling thing.
Unless you want to do a chat along with All In, that might be,
No,
I don't know. But,
I don't have the television capability for it, mate. I'm afraid.
We might see Sam Wilson in the crowd.
Yeah, I hope so. And sending best wishes to Sam as well.
Cost MJF the title.
What Sam's going to?
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, do you know, it's all linked because MJF will see Sam in the crowd and think, oh, Fabio Vieira's here. Then he'll get then the music will hear and a big roll up. That's the finish.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Do you count that as a trophy for Arsenal? I don't know. Anyway, Community Shield is next week, and I'm looking forward to returning to our chat along or watch along form.
Yeah, and do you know what? I think that pretty much is where we need to be in terms of today's stream. I did mention just briefly, don't get too excited and all upset.
There's one thing I need to mention as well, but I'll let you go first.
I'll tell you what, I think I know what it's going to be. Is it going to be this?
It most certainly is. Today, I returned to Stonebridge Road for the first time in ages. Well, and it was against Chelsea. Well, Chelsea under 23s, and it was a 9-goal thriller. No, it was an 8-goal thriller. Sorry,
that's maths, everyone.
Yeah, and it was 3-2 to Chelsea under 23s at half time. And it finished 6-2 to Chelsea under 23s. So not the best way to end Ebbsfleet's pre-season campaign, especially, for a club that likes to be on top like Ebbsfleet. We can't be losing to these mid-table clubs. It is absolutely ridiculous. But hopefully we'll pick up our form when we get to the league. Our first game of the season is away against Rochdale, and it's on TNT Sport, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be on TV.
It's going to be dynamite.
Sadly, I won't be there because it's all the way in Yorkshire, and I didn't plan to go all the way there. Nothing against the Yorkshires.
No. Well, if you're not going to be there,
Manchester. Sorry, it's in Manchester, Rochdale.
Look. You want to do
where Waterloo Road was filmed back in the day.
You want to do an Ebbsfleet special? You go ahead. Think about it. I won't ask for an answer now. Think about it.
Well, Rochdale were in League One not too long ago, so it's quite big opponents for us to start off with. Anyway, that's enough of that. What do you want to talk about?
So, Arsenal news. Yeah. We, similar to Chelsea, had an under 23, under 21 mix of a side go to Boreham Wood today. Obviously, the home of where where the ladies play, where the reserve, the younger players often have their matches. We lost, guys. We lost to Boreham Wood.
Or genuinely Boring Wood, as Ebbsfleet fans called them.
Okay.
Years ago, yeah. So we got a bit of beef with Boreham Wood. We call them Boring Wood, but no, I mean,
yeah,
I didn't see it, but I'm glad I didn't.
Well, I did not see it. Maybe this is where we should go on to talking about a certain statue of mine. Maybe. The big reveal this week, of course, at the Emirates Stadium, the unveiling of the statue for Arsene Wenger, Le Professeur. I think definitely was worth putting down there. I do think there's a glaring missing one, but we'll talk about him in a minute. Your thoughts on Wenger trophy or the trophies he won, the statue itself?
Wenger was a brilliant manager for us before 2011. And then the 8-2 to Man United came along, the 3-1 at home to Aston Villa back in the first game of the 2013 season when a lot of fans turned on him.
Mm.
And it just all went downhill since then. We won a couple of FA Cups, which was very good, but league results, 6-0, 5-0, it wasn't looking great. And look, Wenger in the past, a phenomenal manager. He's done so much for us. I'm not going to deny that at all. But I think it was a certain late great gentleman who once said the milk went stale. And I think he did. He passed his expiration date for a few years, but that's not going to take anything away from what he did in the past. Which, of course, won the league 3 times under him, went undefeated in 49 games. He is a legend. He probably should have left a few years before he left originally. That's what I think.
Yeah, I kind of felt that maybe the same spiel, if you like, coming out of his mouth got a little bit samey, and it really did need a change for a while. But I'm pleased to see him getting recognition in bronze form, if you like. I do feel there's a glaring omission amongst the trophies with the managers, and as soon as we can get one for Bruce Rioch up, it'll be well deserved, of course.
Emery, Freddie Lundberg, for about 4 games. That's the.
And of course, I will be serious for just a minute.
Will you be serious?
Yeah, so the manager and I spoke about this on my desert island, which you expertly interviewed me with last week, and if you haven't already watched that video, you should do. It's absolutely fantastic. Look, George was my manager as I started watching the club, and we mentioned on this stream the infamous 1-0 to the Arsenal.
Yeah,
he tactically was absolutely amazing. He managed to get a lead. He managed to be able to keep it all tight in there. He had the famous back four. He managed to transform Arsenal sort of the way we went through a very lean spell, and then I think there was only just referring back to Kenny Ken on his on Instagram, I think it was, who said I think there was only one season where we didn't actually win anything. Of course, 2 league titles, numerous FA Cup, League Cups as well.
Yeah,
I do feel. I'll ask this in question form. Do you think if it wasn't for him having the spell at Tottenham and obviously the infamous way that he departed the club through the scandal and stuff like that, would the trophy or would the statue not already be up there? Or
I think that
controversial.
I don't know much about the scandal. I know his departure was to do with kind of a scandal, but I don't know much about that. And I know that he did manage Tottenham, but this is something I was not exactly familiar with either. But I do think that George Graham should have a statue. I think he transformed Arsenal into what it is today, as well as Arsene Wenger. Anfield '89. Let's not forget. As you said, he only 1 year when he was in charge for so many. He only went 1 season going trophyless, and even in a season when we finished 10th in the league, he won the double.
Incredible season.
That when it comes to various scandals, a scandal that happened in the 90s and as well as Tottenham, I think the expression I have is time heals all wounds. And I think that I think he should get a statue as well as Arsene Wenger, because him and Arsene, in the past century have been our greatest managers.
Without doubt.
George Graham and Arsene Wenger. People, what do they think when they think of Arsenal? They would think of those 2 managers.
Yeah, certainly.
People in our age group.
Yeah, absolutely. And certainly me, my brother.
Certainly yours.
Absolutely. Being that tiny bit older, it's instantly the one I think of.
Yeah.
And just the absolute respect that we had for him, and it was just sad to see him fall on his haunches. Maybe we'll talk about this in another time, perhaps. Perhaps we could put a couple of calls in and maybe I'd love to, we'll invite a couple of guests that have been on the channel before, and maybe we can have a bit of a history lesson. That might be fun to do. Might be a little bit
Absolutely.
different. Just to sort of carry on and a bit of personal news for me here. So this week we mentioned the Arsenal under 23s and the put together
Yeah.
11 side.
Hmm.
I'm very excited to be going to my first live game in absolutely ages this week, and it's here in my hometown. It's a ground. Hello.
Sorry, that was a notification saying, "Please update your
Yeah.
browser." I'll do that soon. Anyway,
As I was saying, I haven't seen a live game in front of my eyes in person for a long time, and it's here. It's in my hometown. It's literally about a couple of miles from where I am right now, and it's going to be the first time I'll take my daughter to a match, and I'm really thrilled to see Chelmsford City versus Arsenal. If anyone is going perhaps you might be local. A lot of you might be subscribed from me from my other place of work, which I can't possibly mention these days because my store manager is subscribed to us. Yeah. But I'll say this directly to him. Wonderful. There you go. That's an impression of it. But yeah. So if anyone is about and sees me and my little girl around, say hello, and we'll have a jolly good afternoon. It's a 4:00 kickoff at Chelmsford City, and it's going to be a fun time. So we've got that coming up, and like we said, we've got the Community Shield on Sunday. Are we missing the the Emirates Cup that's on Wednesday?
that's against Monaco. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll
No,
have to think about how we're going to cover that, perhaps.
Yeah.
Because it's a pay-per-view kind of deal. But
yeah. I was busy because you said you haven't been to a live game in ages. I'm thinking, obviously, I go to Ebbsfleet games, so I'm thinking of the last time I've been to the Emirates, and that was 5 years ago, and there was a 2-2 draw against Chelsea in 2018. So my last game I watched was under Wenger. I missed out on the entire Emery era. I am due a visit back, but getting tickets, it's so hard and so expensive. Who knows? Maybe soon. I'm due a visit back. Who knows? I might do a bit of a live Gooner Gathering. Hello.
A literal live Gooner Gathering. I love to see it.
Who knows? Yeah, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, that's just my thoughts.
Absolutely.
Stop talking about me. It's about you. Come on.
No. So I will say this: taking up Amy to a game is a bit daunting. I know my wife is absolutely petrified about the whole situation, but I think we'll be just fine. You guys all know my little girl has learning difficulties, etc. But it's going to be a heck of an experience. I think she'll get jolly excited seeing a fair crowd making or singing the songs and all that. And I will report back at some stage. I won't be blogging live, but it's going to be a heck of a good time. And hopefully, if I get some photos or something, we'll have a little bit of a chat and how our day out went. But I think, unless you've got anything else to add, mate, I think that pretty much rounds us up, doesn't it?
Most certainly.
So, Posh Bertie, would you like am I going to press it? There you go. Would you like to tell people where they can find you on Twitter?
Yes, you can follow me on X, on Twitter, at Posh Bertie, break it down, and Instagram at Bertie Wanless.
Thank you very much. Well, you can find me at Gooner Liam. You can find all of us at Gooner Gathering. And if you're not down with that, we've got 2 words for you. Please subscribe.
Gooner Gathering. You got 4